welcome back to Strategy in Small Doses. I want to talk today about understanding the seasons in your business, okay? And what I mean by this is most of the time as solopreneurs and freelancers, we have seasons in our business, right? Seasons meaning really busy seasons and then somewhat slower seasons, mid-level, and really understanding them and making sure that you plan your business according to those seasons. So for example, an accountant or a bookkeeper, right? Their high season is usually January to April, tax season, right? It makes sense. Like that's their busy season is during tax season. So then perhaps and I would suspect that fourth quarter is probably pretty busy for them as well, because everybody's ramping up, they're trying to get ready for tax season. So you're doing like the year-end financials, etc. But as a solopreneur or a freelancer, many of us, myself included, and experience a slightly slower season in the summer months, July and August primarily. And some businesses, the summer is really, really busy, depending on what you offer. If you're a product-based business and summer is your, when you are busiest because you are more of a warm weather product, or you have a service that is, stingent on the warmer weather, then obviously you have those busier seasons. But it doesn't matter. Truly, it doesn't matter what your season is, but what matters is knowing and being aware of them, okay? So I know primarily in my business, July and August are typically pretty slow. I know based on the information that I've had that September, October, November are pretty busy. I also know that January, March are pretty busy, right? So you can start to really plan accordingly from a client perspective, from a launch perspective, from a vacation perspective. When you have this information, you can start to plan your business accordingly. Okay, I talk a lot about this in my biz planning program at the end of the year, but I think it's really important to take a look at now and start analyzing this data. Go back through your months up until this point. Look at them. Do they have, are they pretty consistent? Is it where you have one high month and then maybe a low month? Is it where you have consistent revenue months, several months in a row? Like, is there a certain quarter that is pretty consistent versus another quarter that can, drop off a little bit? And sometimes you can do this every year. You can do this historically. So if you've been in business a couple of years, you should have historical data that goes through and will share these seasonal, highs and lows with you. Okay. But the other thing I think here is really important is actually recognizing them, that all businesses typically have a slow season, and to embrace it. I talk a lot about the summer slowdown, and I know that there's a lot of other coaches and, service providers out there that, will give you the mindset that if you believe it's going to be slow, then it's going to be slow. But if you believe it's going to be busy and you push forward, then it's busy. But, I'm of the mindset, can we just be honest? Can we just be realistic? July and August are busy. The kids are home from school. People are on vacation. They're traveling. I mean, every single client I have has been on vacation at least once, if not more, in the month of July. Okay? Just honor and respect that. Also, give yourself something, test things. I launched a mastermind in the month of July. I started promoting it at the very beginning of July. And I had probably at least 20 or 30 people tell me, they just signed up for another program in the beginning of June, which would carry them all the way through July, August, or, they're going to be on vacation. They got kids home. They can't commit to anything, and to let them know in September. Okay, now you can use that data one of two ways. You can take that data and be annoyed by it, that nobody's doing anything, it's slow, blah, blah, blah. Or you can look at it and say, okay, my audience is telling me that they commit to working on things and they commit to programs and services in May and June. And you can create a program that will carry through July and August, because they'll commit to it. Once they're committed to it, they'll show up. But by the middle of July or the very beginning of July, they're not willing to commit, because then their schedule gets busy. So you either launch in June or you bypass and you plan all of your launches, your clients, front end your business so that it carries you through July and August. So you don't have to push through that, right? Can you keep clients on retainer through those slower months? I'm using July and August because it's front and center for me right now, right? Like that's my business. But again, it could be that December, November, December are really slow months for you. So you would want to launch or plan accordingly in September, October, right? To carry you through November, December, or maybe December and January, etc. Again, this is about being aware. That's ultimately. So action steps for you today. What I want you to do is I want you to go through up until this point, at whatever point you're listening to this podcast, I don't care what month it is, I want you to go through and I want you to start to analyze your data. I want you to start looking at your months. I want you to start looking at your connection calls. I want you to start looking at your revenue. Do you see trends in certain months? If you're brand new in business and this is your first year, then this is a great starting point data. And some of it you can take with a grain of salt because it's brand new, right? If you started your business in April, and by July, it's fairly slow. Like that's not enough data, right? You have to have done this at least a year. I would say be working on it in your second year to really get this hardcore data. However, if you are in your first year, you are at a great starting point to have this data up front, right? Like go through it and have this data from the beginning, not having to go back on it, all right? So I want you to be aware. So number one, go back through your current months, like go back through this year to date and figure out, like, look at your revenue, look at your connection calls, look at your launches. Did you launch something in March versus launching in June? Did one go better than the other? Was there something different that you did in March versus June? What kind of feedback did you get? Analyze the feedback you're getting from your clients. Are you getting feedback from your clients or your prospects that's saying, hey, this is not a great time for me, but please follow up with me in the fall? Or, hey, I'm almost ready, but I've already been committed to something. Like, when are they committing to things? Use that data. Do not discredit it. Your clients are telling you exactly when they want to work with you if you are taking the time to listen and be mindful of it, okay? Be aware of those seasons. So go back through and look at it and start analyzing it. And then doing this every single month will help you and keep a running, whether it's a spreadsheet, a document, something in your project management tool. Keep this information so that you can historically, when you're planning for the next year, you can say, no, remember the July launch didn't go well, but launch it in June and you can carry them through the summer. But launching in July is not good, but launching in June works. Okay, right? So now you can plan, right? You have more information that tells you this is how you grow your business. This is growth. This is scaling. You cannot scale your business if you do not have data to support it, right? You have to have data that supports what you're trying to do. You have the data. You just have to look for it, okay? Go back through and look for it. Look at your connection calls. Again, look at that feedback. Look at your launches. Look at what kind of how many prospects do you have in the pipeline? All of those things, they all matter, okay? All right, I will talk to you soon. Don't forget, jump into the Facebook group and share your comments, share your questions. I have tons of free resources on this. Biz planning is my favorite topic to talk about, okay? So jump in there and let's talk about it. If you're not sure how to analyze your data, let's talk about it. Jump in there and tell me, hey, I listened to this episode and I need help figuring out the seasons of my business. All right, that's it. Let me help you. I'm here to help. And I love talking about this. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.